It's Dr. Christy Ennis. Knee pain can happen for a lot of different reasons. Ligaments, tendons, joint, meniscus, muscle, all of that stuff can happen to cause pain. Typically though, even with that type of pain, even if it's biomechanical, there usually is some sort of muscle imbalance that can help that knee pain. Now oftentimes what I see is people really focus on those quad muscles and those hamstring muscles, which are not bad, don't get me wrong on that, but those tend not to be the main muscles that need to be worked on, right? We always think it has to be whatever's around the knee. But more often than not, the things that are missing are the muscles that help bring that leg out to the side and actually rotate it out to the side. There are many studies actually showing that once these muscles become stronger, it helps with patellofemoral pain syndrome, meniscus pain, arthritis pain. So that's a lot of knee stuff right in one, just by working on strengthening these muscles that tend to get kind of neglected, those poor muscles. Oh. So we're thinking glute medius, minimus, and maximus. The piriformis, believe it or not, isn't always just tight. Sometimes it's weak. The gemelli, just fun to say. How could you not find that fun? And obturator internus and externus, which actually play a role in those pelvic floor muscles too. Whew, it's all connected. It really, really is. So today's goal is to give you some exercises to work on strengthening these muscles up that tend to be a little weaker. And I'm just going to give you an example here of why that does really make a difference. So my glute muscles are not functioning overly well right now for multiple different reasons. But because of that, when I'm walking, and this is an exaggeration, okay? I don't really walk like this, but my knee is actually going in a little bit because those muscles that help pull it out aren't working so much. And I actually have knee pain, go figure. Really and truly, mostly because I'm not getting that pull back out. And that's what I see in a lot of people. So exercises with different modifications to make them a little easier or a little harder. And we will get started on the ground. If that is uncomfortable for your knee or any other body part, you can feel free to do these right on your bed as well. Our first exercise is a variation of the bridge where we're bringing those bunsies up. I have a yellow band because yellow is just happy today, so that's why I chose this one. I do advise to get some bands. To make it a little easier though, you certainly can do this without bands, and that's not a problem at all. I'm going to give you one modification after this initial exercise here. That'll make it a little harder if you need it to. So we are going to work really on targeting the glute max, the medius, and the minimus with this exercise. So you're going to do a little bit of a pelvic tuck to actually kick in the glute max a little bit already. From here, I'm lifting my butt up without arching my spine, raising as high as I can, and that includes the rib cage. We don't want to arch there either. From here, we want to keep those hips nice and level, and then I'm pulling, woo, I wasn't super lever though, let me do that again. From here, staying nice and level, we're going to pull both of those knees apart. And now we're kicking in that glute medius a little bit more with that addition of that pull out. Now, if you feel like you're not even, right, and one's doing more work than the other, then you're going to do one leg at a time. And I would shoot for 10 repetitions on each leg as you do this one. If you find also that you're bringing those legs out, whoops, and your hips are dropping, and I'd actually start over a little bit and don't lift quite as high right from the get-go, and then add that little pull in. Now, like I said, to make it easier, you can certainly take that band off, or even just starting with the bridge will at least get that glute maximus going. To make it a little harder, and this may not look that harder, but trust me, it is. If you go on one leg, and I'm actually going to use my left leg to lift me up into that single leg bridge. Again, without dropping or dipping my hips, I'm bringing that opposite leg out to the side. And boy, oh boy, am I working both butt cheeks on this one. So same idea in that you would try to shoot for 10 repetitions on each side. Exercise 2, again, is really targeting those hip abductors that help bring that leg away or stabilize that pelvis. So we want to lie on our side. Again, you can do this on the bed or on the ground, but what you want to make sure of is that you're in the right position to start. So when I'm lying down, I'm going to have a little bit of space, without falling over, a little bit of space between my torso and the mat or the bed, whatever it happens to be. I always say don't smush your cupcake. Choose your favorite variety, not a yucky one, so that you really don't want to smush it. And then when I look down at my legs, I should see that I can see my toes and I can see some of my leg, but not much of it. If I can see my whole leg, my legs are way too far forward, and then you're gonna end up using more of your hip flexor. For me, it's much more comfortable to bend this bottom leg, and then I even can scoot this leg back so that I'm aiming for my heel, which is what we really want to be doing with the exercise I'm going to show you. So you're going to turn your toes down a little bit to really engage these side muscles, again, more than those front muscles. And from here, it's a nice and simple lift. Now, don't let that leg come forward, right? That's what we're all tempted to do. And also don't let yourself roll backwards. But for this one, these are definitely some endurance muscles. You want to shoot for 15 to 20. If you can't get there to begin with, that is okay. As soon as you lose your form, that's when you want to stop doing your repetitions. So even if it's just 8 to start, there's no big deal, no problem with that. I'd much rather see you do 8 good ones than 8 that look like this, okay? That's super important. All right, to make this a little harder, we're gonna start with that leg lifted, still keep that toe down, and then I'm gonna bring this leg backwards, and I'm gonna bring it forwards. Looks super easy, right? And notice I am trying to keep the rest of my torso nice and straight. So as I come back, now I'm even using that glute max a little bit more, and trust me, I feel it, and come back forward without moving that torso. So for this, 10 to 15 in each direction if you can. One more little bit of difficulty here. If you stay with this leg up and this leg is getting tired, you're gonna go circles this time. Okay, so again, not moving through here, but now we're getting that whole hip motion also. So you want to try for 10 going backwards and then 10 going forwards as well. And of course, make sure you do both sides. Exercise 3, or our third set of exercises, starts in the same position. So make sure that you still have a nice full cupcake under there. And we, from here, are going to bend those knees without moving your hips forward. So these exercises are designed to work those lateral or external or out rotating hip muscles a little bit more as well, right? So not just those glute muscles, but the piriformis some, the obturator, internus and externus, and those gemelli again. Just so fun to say, I can't help it. So from here, now that we have our knees bent, level 1 is keeping those feet together and lifting that top knee up. So with this, you may not lift super duper far, and that's okay. What I don't want to see is rolling open to try to get more motion. Then we're losing the engagement that we really want in those muscles. Goal would be about 20 of these, okay? So if that feels like too much, please don't add any other variation in yet, and just work up to getting 20. Again, even if you just have to start with a few reps to keep good form. If it is nice and easy for you, you can add a band above the knees. Even harder is a band at the shins or at the ankles. You have more force that you have to do. Now, 2 other options that I like that make it a little bit more difficult are starting in this same position, but from here, I'm now lifting that bottom lower leg up as well, and then lifting that top knee. And trust me, you will feel the difference, I promise. Same idea though, you do want to see if you can get to about 20 repetitions, but you might have to start with a fewer reps than if your legs were on the ground. And then the last level of this one, starting with that lower leg up, I'm going to lift that top knee up, keeping that hip nice and level. I'm going to extend, ooh, yee, lots of vowels there, and then come back down. So I'm going to do that one more time. So it's lift that knee without rotating, keep that hip nice and level where it is, extend that leg out, really engage, come back, and then down. For that one, you probably only want to start with about 10 reps or so on each side. For our last exercises, we're going to do a combination of all of those glute muscles, and both sides are going to be working. So if you need something steady to hold on to, because there is a little bit of balance involved, please make sure that you are next to, like I said, something sturdy, or a nice solid person works besides a chair, nothing that's going to tip over. You are going to stand, like I said, on one leg. I'm going to stand on this right leg, nice little bend in that knee so that it's not locked. I'm going to come forward just a tiny little bit here, not a lot. This leg, left one, bends, and then I'm just coming right out to the side with this leg. So I'm working the right glutes on the standing leg, and the left leg, those muscles that help, right, rotate that hip open. To make this harder, again, you can put a band right above the knees, Or one of my favorite exercises, you're actually going to come into a single leg deadlift. So now this right hip is pushing back, but I still have a flat back. This left leg is bending and lifting out to the side again. You will feel those muscles work even harder. And again, you want more of a challenge, woo, try not to fall over, but add a band again and you'll get even more resistance there, shooting for 10 to 15 reps of these. Thank you so much for tuning in today, you guys. If you want to get rid of pain anywhere in your body on your own with just one little portable device, don't forget to check out the Derma Edge. I created this while I was going through Lyme disease to help get rid of my pain on my own, nice and gently. It's patented and made in the US, actually right down the road in Laconia from where my office is. So don't forget, you can click the link here or in the description to order your own.